In the 1990s, the Philippines sugar industry was able to break free from its steady decline since the 50s, its complete turning point in history. Now what we know as Philsurin, or the Philippine Sugar Research Institute, eradicated what would have caused an 85 billion peso damage to both the industry and the economy.
The goal of research is to answer the need of the sugar industry, our purpose in Philsurin. But since we cannot do everything, the mandate of Philsurin is to concentrate on the development of varieties, of new varieties of sugarcane. So we release two kinds of varieties that are released at the national level, and varieties that are specific to a particular sugarcane growing area or district.
Philsurin takes pride in delivering high-yielding varieties of sugarcane that are robustly tested in 11 milling districts. Over the years, 18 new varieties have been produced. Each variety is carefully studied, tested, and carefully evaluated for site-specific suitability.
We are servicing so many, an area of almost 500,000 hectares, located in different places. Of course, Negros is the biggest area where sugarcane is being grown. Next to it will be Bukidnon. And there are areas also in Davao, in Cebu, Iloilo, and other areas. You have to consider that the environment in these different places also vary. These are the things that we have to really learn. Plus, even the varieties, they require a certain environment for them to perform well. Well, a good case, for example, there are varieties that are highly suitable in well-drained condition. And so we have to find that kind of variety. There are varieties that tolerate waterlogging. We have to find that one. There are differences in altitude, which is also critical on what type of variety to select.
So we need varieties that are adapted to our own condition, our own growing condition for the sugarcane. We need plants that can face the challenges of changes in the environment. Yeah, we have good varieties for the current condition, environmental condition. But things evolve. For example, disease pathogens, pests evolve also. As the plant evolves or as we produce new varieties, the pathogens that causes the diseases of the sugarcane also evolve. So the resistant varieties that are currently, we are currently growing resistant to the current population of diseases may not be resistant to the next population of disease pathogens. When we evaluate materials, we are evaluating like more than 700,000 of plants, of hybrids, and we need to select future varieties from those plants, taking a look individually at those plants.
Research has been the world's source of power since the birth of knowledge. It caters to necessities, done in unique ways that best suits its purpose. Above and beyond, it recognizes the inevitable, that the need to search for answers and solutions will never cease.
If we will not be able to improve the cultural management to reduce the cost of production, then we will be flooded by these cheap sugar from neighboring countries, and of course that will cause the damage of our industry. So we really have to work it out that we can keep abreast, at least in terms of cost of production. That's why our research are looking into how we can further reduce the cost of production, coming up with the right kind of fertilizer and developing more varieties that are highly productive, and all those techniques.
And there are those who already live by their conviction that Philsorene has done its best in that field.
10 years ago, when the full funds of Philsorene was given to the Philsorene project, we were able to produce good varieties. And that was at the peak, because before Philsorene came into the picture, we were lagging 40, 60 years behind Australia. But when we were at our peak, we were just, if not just below, nearly at par with Australia.
When Philsorene came in 1997, without doing anything, just plain replacement of my old varieties with the new Philsorene varieties that were propagated by Philsorene, my production immediately went up.
Philsorene has helped us a lot. Philsorene has been there for almost 20 years. And since the time it started, our production has gone up.
With Philsorene, there is a continuous supply of new H5B to replace the deteriorated ones.
Without research, our sugar industry will not progress and will probably deteriorate.
But research requires a long-term commitment, patience to wait for a return on a continuing investment. It depends heavily on the resources of the stakeholders, people who believe in what they can do and what they vow to deliver.
Research is expensive because we need to invest in resources. That means people who have the proper training to do research. We need, in the case of sugarcane, we need large areas where we can do the trials, the experiments, and the evaluation of new varieties that we are producing. We need equipment, especially at the moment when we are going into the use of modern technology to improve our research outputs. For example, in isolation of DNA, concentration of DNA, and this equipment costs quite a bit of money. So for example, one equipment that can concentrate DNA can cost us 1.2 million pesos. There are alternative ways that we can use. But if we want results in a timely manner and a fast rate, we need to invest in those kind of equipment.
Philsorene relies on liens of its champions, millers and planters who continuously support its research and development endeavors financially. Its stakeholders, with an estimated investment of 1 billion pesos for the past 17 years, have been able to grant the industry with 77.3 million LKG, valued at 85 billion pesos.
Medyo magasto ang research pero ang epekto ay maayo.
Being a researcher and being involved directly in the farm, I have seen that R&D is very important. Planters need to be well informed of the latest findings in research, like varieties, their adaptability, better planting and harvesting program.
The research is needed to give us sustainable varieties that can last. To sustain the growth that you're having, you have to have new varieties after how many years? 8 years, because the varieties all deteriorate from the mother plant. So you have to have a constant research and development to produce better varieties.
It is a continuous learning. New technologies come in, and that's why Philsurin has been very helpful in this endeavor.
Should this kind of support continue, Philsurin will be able to stay true to its promises.
So given the support so that we can have the proper equipment, the proper resources, I think we can shorten the development of new varieties by 3 years. So from 8 years, we can probably shorten it to 5 years.
After all, even as the Institute is currently only halfway through its visions, the following milestones already attest its will to succeed: a hot water treatment facility, weather stations, GIS technology that determines areas with sugarcane and land suitability, called Land Management Unit, an accelerated nursery development program, a bioorganic and soil amelioration program, adoption of rapid multiplication technique through micropropagation, and distribution of disease-free HYV stocks of cane points and plantlets from micropropagation. Philsurin is what it is and where it is now because of the people who stayed by its side. Through all the years that passed and through the many endeavors that dictated its path, the journey to finding new ways to sustain and improve an industry that a lot of Filipinos depend on has been solidified. All these made imaginable and reachable by research and the champions who would go to the ends of the earth to keep it alive.
Philsurin has taught us a lot. That I have to admit. You know, it has increased our production by, I would say, 20% since the time I started farming. And that's a big help to us.
It is a continuous learning. New technologies come in, and that's why Philsurin has been very helpful in this endeavor.
I have seen that there is really a need for a continuing quest for more high-yielding varieties and better technologies for productive sugarcane farming.
Philsurin has benefited my farm and a lot of other farms. Because aside from the new varieties, the seminars that it gives, the extension services of cloning, fertilizer, recommendations, testings, even water management, disease, insects, all of that.
Without Philsurin research, we would not have new varieties, high-yield varieties.
Without Philsurin, we cannot improve our production method.
Well, kung hindi naman pagsuportaran ng Philsurin, ano pang institusyon sa gobyerno na maka-research for us sa sugar industry?
So we have to have a constant research and development program in the industry if we want to survive.
I feel that research has to go on, you know. Like, we cannot stop. Once we stop research, we start to stagnate, and we don't want that. You know, we have to move forward, we have to improve.
Without research, there is no way we could sustain the sugar industry.
If it stops, we die.
In Philsurin, we say that research is the lifeblood of the sugar industry. And I think in that particular aspect, we did well.
Join us, and together, let's make our future a billion times sweeter.